Welcome back to another Up to Summit video. As you can see, it's absolutely amazing weather today. Today I am starting in, I think it's called Powter How, I think that's the area. So it's just off Bassenthwaite. Behind me is Swan House, which used to be the Swan Hotel, which I have a pretty interesting story about that. And you'll find out that later in the video when we head up further up the mountain. And there's a really interesting rock which is painted white. And there's an interesting story behind it, which all starts here. So I'll tell you more about that later in the video. I'm going to be ticking off two Wainwrights today. The first one is Barf and the second one is Lord's Seat. So let's get going. So we're just heading through this little wooded section. Now I think we've got a very steep section coming up, which could be a bit screey, so might be a bit slippy. But when it's a warm day and you're walking through fern like this, it has this distinct smell about it. I don't know what it is, but it just really does remind me when I was like younger doing walks in the summer. So there's a small white rock here. This isn't the white rock. That's just a bit further up there, you'll be able to see it in a minute. It's a lovely little stream running through here. Steep hills either side, really. Absolutely beautiful, like you couldn't ask for better weather, really. Blue sky, beautiful scenery. Cannot beat it. So we're just going up this tiny path to try to get up to the rock. The views are really starting to open up over to Skiddaw and over towards Keswick. But it's quite steep going up here. Tell you what, it's steep coming up here, gaining height really quickly. But we're nearly at the rock, it's literally just behind this tree. Here we go, the Bishop's Rock. But it's quite a big rock, as you can see. Really nice views looking out from here. But the story is not very nice. Right, so there is the rock. So as you can see, it's probably a good 10 foot high. So onto the story of why this rock is white, because it's not naturally white, it's actually painted white. And I believe even to this day they still paint it white every year to make sure it's still looking white. Like I mentioned at the start, the Swan House, it used to be I think the Swan Hotel. Back in the 1700s, the Bishop of Derry, which is now called Londonderry, was in there probably having a few drinks with his mates. And when he were in there, he turned around to his friend and said, "I bet you that I can ride my horse up to the top of Barf, which is just behind me, and then on to Lord's Seat, which we're going to next." So he set off from there and he heads straight up the hillside on his horse. Obviously not a good idea. So this is where he started, all the way up here. Not the best idea, to be honest, but I'm sure he probably had a few drinks and we're feeling a bit confident. So this rock has been painted white. It was already here, but they've painted it white, and this is to show round about the area where he did eventually have his last moments. A pretty interesting story. Also, it just goes to show when you're drunk, you can make some silly bets. Obviously, I don't think anyone watching would be silly enough to do something like this, but if it was crossing your mind, I'd probably not do it. But at least he can say his final moments were with some beautiful views, even if it was an early death. This is just above the rocks now. It is a bit of a sketchy path because it's really screey. And there's some pretty big drops, so it really does just show how difficult it is. Like riding your horse up here is just unbelievably stupid. To be fair, he did manage a fair way up, but it wasn't worth it for him. It really wasn't. We're not going to carry up this way because I don't know how much of a path this is, and it is very loose rock. There's signs saying to be careful of falling rocks. You can see how loose it looks, so we're going to head a slightly different way. I don't know whether we'll join onto that path over there. Honestly though, what a lovely spot it is. Ignore the story. Just a beautiful spot and a beautiful day to accompany it. Yes, I don't know if you can tell, but it is pretty bad going down here. It's like really small, shingly, slippy rocks. So unless you're a pretty experienced hiker, I probably wouldn't recommend coming right up to the rock because it is a bit sketchy. You can look at it, it's just like steep shingle. You can go down that way, but I don't know if that'd be any better. It's like just more of the same stuff. There you go, so we're back down to the stream now. Oh, we're a bit of a detour, but really nice, really interesting, and a bit exhilarating, to be honest. There you go, you can just make out the rock behind the trees there. I'm sure we'll get a better view at some point. But that's Barf, which we're heading up. Beautiful weather walking up here. A little bit tiring, but absolutely beautiful. So you can see over there, from here it just looks like a little white snowman on Edge Mountain. Look at that for a beautiful day. Just got the edge of Bassenthwaite there. Skiddaw in the background, I've still got to do that. One of the only ones over 3,000 feet, which I haven't done now. Lovely little wooded section with like a mossy floor, and the sun coming through the trees looks nice. And also just looking out through the trees and seeing a view like that. Absolutely beautiful. know. It's a great path going up here, a little bit of scrambly section, but really nice. It's really enclosed in between these trees, winding around all over and way up here. Beautiful views though when you look out over there, absolutely amazing. It's a dense forest in here, like, look around behind me. It is dense. Look at that. At least it's shade though from the sun because it's bloody warm today. About 23 degrees probably. That's a big leaning tree. Absolutely huge. Look at that for a view looking out there. You just cannot beat it, can you? Lake District just never disappoints. Like, that's just amazing. Oh, nearly slipped over, but stream running down the hillside. Follow it down. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's nice to see that all the purple heather's starting to come out. It's not fully out yet, but definitely is starting to turn purple, isn't it? Look at that for a spectacular day. Got Cat Bells just over there. Derwent Water, Keswick. Absolutely perfect day for it. Down Basson for it. So there we go, that's Barf done. A pretty sick mountain, literally. Next up, I'm pretty sure we're going up there, Lord's Seat. Good view looking back with Skiddaw in the background, and then Barf, which we've just been to. Beautiful. So if the bishop did manage to make it up the front of Barf, he would have come all the way across here, but back then he wouldn't have had this nice path for him. He would have been going straight for all them bogs as well, so I think he still would have struggled even if he got up here. Right, so here we are. We're at the summit, our second and final summit of the day, and the bishop's final destination, which he didn't make it to. Lord's Seat. There we go, it's not too bad a view, is it? Right on the edge of the Lake District, but don't know which is the official top, whether it's that or maybe this. Give it a little tap. A bit windy up here. You got good views looking into Lake District over there, over kind of Whinlatter Forest. Lovely day. Right, so we've just come off the top of Lord's Seat. Now we're going to follow this path down. Got to probably like skirt kind of around the edge of Whinlatter Forest. Then we'll just have a nice pleasant walk back down to the car. Look at the views as we walk down here. It's just magnificent, isn't it? I feel like there's not that many trees in the Lake District. I guess there is up this side, but in quite a lot of the Lake District on the mountains, there's just not really any trees. So it's nice to be on a mountain and be able to see all these trees. It adds a bit extra to the mountain, doesn't it? That's not a bad view looking over to Barf, which we were on not so long ago. I tell you what, there's a lot of Christmas trees in here, and some of these are absolutely massive. You won't be fitting them in your house. Like, look at the size on that, they're probably 30-40 foot tall. This is quite a pleasant section of the walk. We're just following these forest tracks as they kind of weave the way down. Then we're going to join back onto our outward route, but it's nice to do a bit of forest walking, especially now it's not too dense that you're fully covered, so you've got the nice blue sky above you and the lovely trees either side of you. It's a nice little path. There you go, you can just see rock down there, and then also just in the very distance the white building, that's the Swan Hotel or the Swan Pub where it's set off from. What a view it is though. Looking behind, you got Barf all the way down there. Absolutely amazing. So we're back on the path we went up on now. Got Barf. It's so hard to do this, like record behind me, but we've got Barf up behind me, and then somewhere in that region is the Bishop's Stone. You can maybe make it out. But yeah, that was a pretty good walk, and obviously that little story and going over to that stone just made it a bit more interesting. Cracking weather today. I can't complain about how good the weather was today. But if you did enjoy the video or found it interesting, don't forget to leave a like and drop a sub. And if you want to watch another one of my videos, click the screen now.